Welcome to Exams Daily, and this video is for today's current affairs and 19th August current affairs. And the first news is our Vice President called upon researchers and scientists to pay great attention to agriculture and come up with innovation. And this is an address speech given by our Vice President at ARIIA 2020, which is held at online. So ARIIA 2020 is given to IIT Madras, and this ARIIA 2020 is given to universities and colleges, those who are developing their students in entrepreneurship. So they will get this ARIIA 2020 award, and this year is given to IIT Madras. And the next news is Prime Minister announces result for Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 in Swachh Mahotsav, which is an event organized by MOHUA, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So Swachh Sarvekshan is the world's largest cleanliness survey. So our Prime Minister announced the result of world's largest cleanliness survey at Swachh Mahotsav. So on the next news is a memorandum was signed in between All India Institute of Ayurveda AIIA and Delhi Police to get the Ayurveda Preventive and Promotion health services in their residential colonies of Delhi Police. So this MOU is signed in between AIIA, All India Institute of Ayurveda, and Delhi Police, and this is comes under the Ministry of Ayush. So, and more about this is the service are to be provided through a mobile unit named Dhanvantri Rath and police wellness centers, and are to be catered by AIIA, supported by Ministry of Ayush. So this scheme is supported by Ministry of Ayush. So the next news is export of agricultural commodities during March to June 2020 increased by 23.24% when compared to 2019. It increases by 23.24%. So the next news is Union Minister of State for Chemical and Fertilizers Sri Mansukh Mandavia held a virtual meeting with state agricultural ministers and senior officers of Department of Fertilizers and Ministry of Agriculture today. So in this news, current affair, we want to know about Union Minister of State for Chemicals and Fertilizers is Sri Mansukh Mandavia. So, and the next news is about 158 lakh metric tons steel and 692 lakh metric tons cement is likely to be consumed in construction of all the houses sanctioned under PMAYU, as per estimates, said Sri Hardip Singh Puri, who is Minister Secretary of Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs and Minister of Civil Aviation. So we want to know about PMAYU. So PMAYU is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which is for housing for all. So this scheme is given by our Prime Minister of India. So Sri Hardip Singh Puri is MOS, Minister of Secretary of Minister of Housing, Urban Affairs and Minister of Civil Aviation. So the next news is 33rd Naval Higher Command course commences at Naval War College, Goa. So it is inaugurated by online by Sri Suhas Petnekar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Mumbai. So he has inaugurated this course, Naval Higher Command course, and it is a 33rd Naval Higher Command course, and which is at Naval War College, Goa. And more about this, and this course curriculum aims to invigorate intellectual quest through research work and critical thinking for honing problem solving skills. And the next news is the Naval Commanders Conference of 2020 is scheduled at New Delhi, and this is the apex level event for interaction between the naval commanders. So this is the first Naval Commanders Conference, and Honorable Raksha Mantri is scheduled to address this Naval Commanders meet. So this is addressed by Raksha Mantri, and next and this is the first Naval Commanders Conference. So it is scheduled at New Delhi, and these are the things we want to learn in this news. So on the next news is Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad launches Swadeshi Microprocessor challenge to realize the ambition of self-reliance and a momentous stride towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad has launched Swadeshi Microprocessor Challenge. So, in this news, we want to study about what is Swadeshi Microprocessor Challenge and who is Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad. These two things we want to know about this, and what is the ambition to launch this process. And these are the things we want to study from this from this news. So, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad is Union Minister of Law and Justice, Communications and Electronics and Information Technology. And this Swadeshi Microprocessor Challenges is to spur the technology-led innovation ecosystem in the country and staying at the forefront of digital adoption. So, it calls upon all students to use this portal, and this is on behalf of Atmanirbhar Bharat to realize the self-reliance, and this scheme is launched. And it is launched by Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, who is Union Minister of Law and Justice, Communications and Electronics and Information Technology. So, on the next news is Dr. Harshavardhan inaugurates the Thalassemia Screening and Counseling Center at Indian Red Cross. So, thalassemia is an inherited blood disorder in which the body makes an abnormal form of hemoglobin. So, actually it is a static GK, and also this topic comes under science subject. So, from this news we get two things. So, for one is science related content. So, we are going to know about thalassemia, so which is an abnormal form of hemoglobin. So, deficiency of hemoglobin is which is inherited in our, it is also called inherited blood disorder. So, Dr. Harshavardhan is a Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare. So, these are the things we want to know about from this news. So, on the next news is Union Education Minister Sri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank participated in inaugural program for 11th batch of postgraduate program and 9th batch of fellow doctoral program of IIM Raipur. So, actually we want to know about the abbreviations in this news, and also we want to know about Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. So, on the next news is Union Minister Jal Shakti reviews implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission with Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. So, in this news we want to know about two things. So, who is a Union Minister for Jal Shakti and what is the main theme of Jal Jeevan Mission, and we want to know about Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. So, Jal Jeevan Mission, we already had seen more and more about this Jal Jeevan Mission. So, I'm just recalling you. So, Jal Jeevan Mission is under implementation in partnership with states to provide drinking water to every rural household of the country. So, and the main objective of this mission is to all families in villages get tap water connection in their households. So, Minister of CM of Tamil Nadu is Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy, and Jal Shakti Minister is Shekhawat, Gajendra Shekhawat, I think so. So, on the next news is Sri Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said government result and effective efforts for promotion and progress of meritorious youth from minority communities. So, actually the main theme of this is under the scheme Nayudan, they are going to select 22 youths from poor like minority communities, and they are going to provide civil service examination assistant. So, this is provided by Ministry of Defense. So, they are going to give free training to 22 youths from minority communities, those who are passed in UPS, SSC, like that exams preliminaries, those who have completed the preliminary examination, they are going to provide assistance for mains examination. So, this Nayudan scheme is for minority community to provide civil service examination assistance. So, the main theme is we want to know about Nayudan. So, Nayudan scheme which helps youths from minority communities to prepare for their civil service examinations. So, on the next news is scientists from Center for Nano and Soft Matter Sciences, which is at Bangalore, and it is an autonomous institution. Department of Science and Technology and Government of India has fabricated a transparent flexible EMI shield. So, EMI is electromagnetic interference sheet. So, it is made up of metal meshes using crack templating method via spray coating, so which is pioneered in their library. So it is this electromagnetic interference flexible and fabricated transparent shield is made by scientists from Center for Nano and Soft Matter Sciences, and it is an autonomous institution which comes under Government of India. So the next news is Indo-US Science and Technology Forum announced awards to 8 binational teams. So for those who done researches in India and US for COVID-19, so for them this award is going to announced for eight bionational teams. This award is going to is announced. So for their efforts of the medical and scientific community to find solution to the COVID-19 pandemic and emerging global changes. So the next news is Indian Railways have introduced drone-based surveillance system for railway security. So 9 drones have been procured by RPF. So for cost around 32 lakhs. Southern Railway, Central Railway, Modern Coaching Factory, Rabareli and Southern Western Railway had bought this drone-based surveillance system of railway security for Indian Railways. So one main thing about Indian Railways is Railway Minister is Piyush Goyal and headquarters is at New Delhi, and it is founded on 16th April 1853. And the next news is the Ministry of Home Affairs MHA approved the renaming of Mandurya railway station in Uttar Pradesh as Banaras. So actually this is a request given by UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. So on behalf of this request, it is now sanctioned for renaming. So it is renamed as Banaras. So Mandurya railway station in Uttar Pradesh is renamed as Banaras. So and more about Uttar Pradesh, and capital is Lucknow and Chief Minister is Yogi Adityanath and Governor is Anandipen Patel. And Jharkhand government on Friday launches a new state emblem 20 which is on behalf of their 20 years after the state was created out of Bihar. So at first Bihar and Jharkhand is in a same state. So now it is a celebration of 20 years. They had splitted. They had launched this new state emblem. So in the middle they also had written some quotes. So and more about Jharkhand, and capital is Ranchi and Chief Minister is Hemant Soren. And the next news is Malian President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita has resigned and dissolved the parliament after mutinying soldiers detained him at gunpoint. And the next, more about Mali, capital is Bamako and currency is West African CFA franc. And the next news is Ramnath Kovind, President of India, appointed Satya Pal Malik, Goa Governor, as the Governor of Meghalaya. So and more about Meghalaya, capital is Shillong and Chief Minister is Konad Konkal K. Sangma. So now the Governor for Goa is Satya Pal Malik. So on the next news is Central Bank of India has appointed Mr. Ashwini Kumar Shukla as Chief Risk Officer. So prior to this, he was working as a General Manager in SBI. So and more about Central Bank of India, MD and CEO is Pallav Mahapatra and headquarters is at Mumbai. And the next news is cricketer Rohit Sharma is appointed as a Oakley brand ambassador in India. And Rohit Sharma will sport Oakley eyewear equipped with patented technology created specifically for sport lenses as part of the deal. So this thing about Oakley's. So and the next news is Fino Payments Bank has launched Jan Bachat Khata, which is an Aadhaar authentication based digital saving account that brings new banking experience to consumers. So this is launched by Fino Payments Bank. So those who are preparing for bank exams, it is useful for you. So and more about Fino Payments Banks, it is established in 13 July 2006 and MD and CEO is Rishi Gupta and headquarters is at Mumbai, Maharashtra. So and the next news is Rohit Sharma, Vignesh Phogat among 4 recommended for Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, and this award is for India's highest sporting honor. And the next news is skipper Virat Kohli remained at the second position in the batting chart which has two more Indians in the top 10, but pacer Jasprit Bumrah slipped to the 9th spot among bowlers in the latest ICC Test player rankings. So, and more about ICC, CEO is Manu Sauhne and headquarters is at Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So, the next news is World Humanitarian Day observed on August 19, 2020. So, the main theme for this Humanitarian Day is it is to pay tribute to humanitarian workers killed and injured in the course of their work and to support people affected by crisis around the world. And this year is the 11th edition of World Humanitarian Day. So, these are the main things we want to know from this news. And August 19 is a World Humanitarian Day and it is the 11th edition of World Humanitarian Day. So the main theme is to pay tribute to humanitarian workers. So if you are watching our channel for first time, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon. And thanks for watching.